Boom! All right, everyone. Welcome, welcome. How are you doing? I am going to sound the alarm. Are you ready? That is going to be for all the woke police. I'm pretty sure this will piss some people off. But, most of the men out there are not dancing like men at the moment. There's so many weak dudes. And this message is... I've had people in the studio come in. Great people, fantastic dudes. But they come in weak. Like recently I had someone come in and they go to shake my hand, right? They did the whole like wet fish thing. What are you doing? This is not how to make the introduction. So I would like to talk about 3 things that I'd like you to focus on as a man when you are going into a dance studio. So beginner levels, great, but even at the high levels. And we're going to cover 3 aspects that I know all you ladies are going to 100% agree with me on. So if you want the secret sauce, gentlemen, stay here and pay attention, okay? Now, first things first, you got to look good, man. You got to look good. Now, one of the things that we all judge people on is how they look, all right? People often say, I don't judge. I don't, I get to know people first. Bullshit. We unconsciously judge people all the time. This is what we do. Then we rationalize, right? So walking in, you got to make a good first impression, okay? So, and even if you've been at a studio for a long time, demand a higher standard for yourself, guys, okay? Get a better dress code. Know your body type. So if you've got like a V taper, like your shoulders are wider than your hips, that's really good. That's what you should aim for if you don't have a body shape like that. If you're a bit more of a pear, then aim to become a V, all right? Now, the reason for that is because that will change what you wear. But fundamentally, in dancing, you want to wear something that's fitted. Okay, so you can too get to a point like me where you can wear a tight t-shirt. Oh, that's right. It doesn't all start like that, but that's where you can get to if you dream big enough. So I used to wear like skater clothes, okay? I used to skate a lot when I was a teenager, baggy clothes, and I would scoff at anyone wearing tight pants and t-shirts. And now look at me, what the hell's happened? But we need that because we want to have a good body, shape in the sense of creating pictures. Yeah. So if teachers watching you or whatever, dancing is aesthetic. It's got to be aesthetically pleasing. So the movement needs to be shown. So if you're hiding away because your clothes don't fit or they're improper in terms of their length. So if your pants are up to your neck, that's going to be a problem. Okay. If your pants are too low, that's also going to be a problem. So I'm going to create the right leg lines, for example. Okay. So you don't need to wear leotards or anything crazy or super tight fitting clothes, but you need to have good fitting clothes. Am I right, ladies? Yeah. The guys need to actually look good. So fitting's good. And then knowing what suits your body is great. Now, if you're wondering what color, black. Black is the universal color. All right. Wear a buttoned up shirt, wear some dress pants, maybe chinos. Okay. So look, guys, most guys will do all right. They're wearing, say, chinos or a nice pair of dress pants with a button-up shirt. Okay, that fits you. That's standard. And go for black, you will look good. All right, or a black shirt, a white shirt or a black shirt with black pants. That'll go down a treat. That's the easy stuff. Yeah. So looking good is the first thing. The second one, this is what I really want to focus on, is feeling good. So this is really key. Really key. Gentlemen, ladies will get put off by the way you touch them. Okay. So don't be a fucking creep. When you are using your hand to hold a lady, first of all, your hand, make sure it's not wet and like slimy, yeah? Moisturize it, okay? You're a dancer, step into it. You know what I'm saying? Have your nails cut. But when you hold a lady's hand, you have to hold it with purpose. You have to stand with purpose. You have to communicate unconsciously all your nonverbal signals with purpose and confidence, okay? This is very important. Number 2 of all this is probably the most important to really hone in on, is feeling good. Meaning, if you escort a lady to the floor, walk her on to dance, you are not like holding her freaking like fingernail, okay? Like you're a weak little lady boy, right? Like you're not just holding it and like, oh, would you like to dance with me? It's like, no, you have to have confidence. So that feeling good is very important because that will be communicated to whoever you dance with. Now, of course, then you also don't go the other way and like start overconfidently grabbing her ass, her back, or her lower back, right? Or the midsection above the belt line, right? Because that can be a bit intimidating, right? So there's this fine line between like reading the cues, knowing how much to hold and how little to hold as well. But it fundamentally comes down to feeling good because you also feel good about yourself, right? Knowing you can hold yourself with confidence, okay? Now, purpose is a big one for me. When you're looking to feel good to dance with, part of leading and following, a skill to develop there, is knowing how to do it with purpose, okay? So any mistake you make, if you are going to make a mistake and you're going to make many mistakes, you go out in a blaze of glory, all right? Make the mistake and do it with style. Make sure whatever you're attempting, you at least give it your all. So I'd recently had a gentleman in the studio, young guy, really good prospect, really good prospect. He had the right moves. He could catch things really quickly. He had the temperament, good personality, all those things, okay? But he didn't feel good in the sense that when he held like a weakling. Yeah, like and I could just see it. I was like, dude, you got to hold that lady's hand with some confidence, convey that you know what you're doing, even though this is your first class, and that's going to create a positive feedback loop. Now, this leads me into the third thing in a second, but part of all of this is feeling good and having purpose is also part of the way you hold your body. So this gentleman was holding, weak hold, but he also stood like he was an 84-year-old grandpa looking for a sock, right? And I was like, what the hell are you doing? You can't be down here holding like with a little feeble hand and then expect this lady to follow you into the unknown. I was like, no. So hold your chest up, right? Lift it up with a feeling of pride, straighten your back, bang, straight away, instantly better. And I said, does he look better? Yes or no? And she was like, wow, what a difference. And then first move, bang, back to 84-year-old grandpa. So it takes practice, of course. The feeling good is within yourself. So when you hold your body up, when you hold your back straight, and then you hold with a feeling of confidence, pride, purpose, etc., dude, you are sending a wonderful signal out into the world, okay? And so that is very attractive, and people want to dance with you. So if you want a full dance card, if you want to have the Baker's Delight number just sitting next to you and people just have to take one to dance with you, that's the reason. It's because of those messages you're sending. So you're looking good, then you're also feeling good. What's number 3, do you reckon? Have a guess. Write it below. And if you have a question for me, leave it in the comments section, please. Another little side note is if you like the content that I create on this channel, support it by becoming a channel member on YouTube. It actually boosts the channel in the algorithms. The lowest tier I could make was 99 cents. So just become a member, and then I'll create some additional perks. You get like customized logos, but I'll create some other perks for you as well. But support the channel that way. It's the best thing you can do. All right. Third one, what is it? What do you think? Have a little guess. Think about it. What would it be? We're looking good. Got our new threads on. All right. What else? You're feeling good. Okay. Feeling good about yourself because you had a fucking shower before you went to the studio. You rebel. All right. What do you think the third thing is? You smell good. There's the shower, right? And you use some cologne. So there's 2 things I want to hit here because Lord knows I've had to tell grown men, 50, twice my age, like 50, 60 years old, bro, you need some cologne. So after a day at work, nobody wants to smell that, okay? Don't come in with the reek of Thai lunch on you or that like just pervasive sweat because you've been running around doing errands. So my habit I've always had, I've always been very clean, is having a shower before dance. It was like a little breakdown ritual. I factored in the time always. You don't have an excuse for this. I mean, you can always figure it out somehow. Gym nearby might have a shower. You can have a workout beforehand. But the point is that have a shower. Get yourself fresh, okay? At minimum, have cologne in your bag. And have a good cologne. Don't have Old Spice, all right? The ads are funny, but get something that sends a signal of like, maturity, austerity, or something powerful, yeah? So like, some basic brands, basic scents, of course, are Sauvage, right, by Dior. That's pretty good. Dolce & Gabbana, right? Armani has some good colognes. If you want to spend a little bit more up market, Tom Ford, most of this stuff is pretty good. And here's the tip, guys. Take a woman shopping and get her to have a smell and see what she likes, okay? Because some stuff smells like old men and mothballs. We do not want this, all right? So smelling good. This also might mean that you use some different moisturizer if you want to do that, right? But the point is that the smelling good aspect makes a big difference in you personally, because people will feel good that they want to dance with you, right? Now, the other thing is to your teeth. Get your damn teeth cleaned, all right? And brush them and floss them. I know you may be older than me. It's like, who is this young dude telling me this? I'm telling you because that smell, is not, man. I swear to God, the ballroom hold was created from this, right? So the ladies out here to head to the left. Why? Because back in the 30s, ain't nobody brushing their teeth, all right? And they're just like, get me the fuck away from this guy's face. So the point is that you need to make sure that you smell good here and, of course, here. Those three things are going to serve you well, my friends. Now, I want you to dance like a man. So to do that, you have to have those three basic things in order. And then you're in a space where you can, of course, learn your technique, learn your routines, and start to go from there. But the environment you've created for yourself is the most important thing, because you're going to feel good. The people around you are going to feel a bit better, okay? And as a consequence of that, the positive feedback loop is going to help you to move forward confidently the direction you want to go. All right. So now, if you have any questions for me whilst I'm here and I'm live, let's get into it. Go. What do you do? Sounds like dating tips. Yeah. Yeah, man. I mean, let's be real. Let's be real here. Yeah. When you're in the studio, most people, okay, let's be straight up here. Pretty much most guys that I know, none of them started to dance because they love dance, okay? They were there to meet people, all right? Either make friends some way or to meet a girl. And most women that I've asked started dancing because of the dresses, right? So we do it for different reasons. But when you look at high-level dancing, all right, so you look at dance sport, for example, the thing that attracted me to that a lot was the fact that everyone respected the way they looked. They wore good clothes and was always tailored fitted. And part of the reason for that I found is it makes you feel more confident about yourself, which again has that nice, feedback loop where you start to notice the benefits of that, and then, it trickles down. So yeah, it might sound like dating tips, but at the end of the day, like, the same sort of rules apply. I would give similar tips for work. Just don't overdo it with the cologne, right? 'Cause some people don't like that. So have one spray rather than, don't overdo it. But I would give the same advice. It's basics, right? This is not complicated stuff, but people don't do it. I would give the same advice for a business owner, right? Like in the right setting, of course, because someone who works in sewage and plumbing, for example, probably would need to use that after work, right? So yeah, the basics are, what's the saying? Common sense is not common practice. So unless you look immaculate and you're smelling good and people are like, damn, you're looking good and smelling good, you ain't doing it right. So now, brush your hair. What do you do to get ready for a performance or competition? Okay, that's a good question. So I've retired essentially from dance sport, but I do pro-am at the moment. It's still competition, but it's a different form. Fundamentally, you're always in a state of readiness. Okay, so think of a marathon runner. It's not like, oh, I have a marathon in November, so I'll just turn up and run at it. You're actually training all the time. So there's a pretty heavy process behind it, but I'll give you a very loose overview. So in Ballroom Mastery Academy, which is one of my flagship courses, there's a module there, module 6. There's 30 videos that break down in great detail going from the studio to the stage. And in the process that I would go through, say 2 months out from a comp, 30 days from a competition, 7 days, 24 hours, then the day and the 2 days after a competition, okay? Because a lot of people forget there's things you need to do as a performer after the actual competition, such as evaluating your performance and training or recovering. Okay, so you actually need to reset yourself from one competition to the next. So you stair step your success. And again, that's a strategy, isn't it? Because you're not just turning up randomly. If you're trying to make a go of your competitions and do something with it, you actually need to approach it like an athlete would with games. Like, how are you going to win this game, or how are you going to take that defeat and turn it into a victory for yourself so you can move forward confidently? So it's a big question because there's lots of things to do. But then one of the overarching, like, macro things that everyone can do is continuity practice, because this is often really forgotten. And again, common sense is not common practice, right? So continuity practice is you press play and you dance. It's like shocking, right? But you dance consistently to that song. So for some people, they can't get past a minute of dancing without fatiguing, forgetting routines, or making really bad mistakes that they can't get past. So in continuity practice, you press play, dance the whole song without stopping, so you keep repeating your routine. Okay, it sounds simple. It's actually quite difficult to do, especially if you have, in my case, I would have 10 to 15 routines, okay, that I would have to get ready to do at any said given competition. So I could not really afford to stop and make a mistake in that sense, because it would set me back, because I'd have to start again, right? So continuity practice is a fantastic way that anyone who wants to get better can access without getting too caught up on the details of what do I eat, when do I go to sleep, and those sorts of things. Because let's separate this out. If you're a social dancer and a hobby dancer and you just do a class once a week, occasional performances with your studio at a Stedford or events or parties, things like that, you sit in a certain category, you're not going to need to dance as insanely as what I just explained, okay? Continuity practice will be of benefit to you. If you are a medalist, okay, you're going to need to put in a different level of preparation depending on your grade. If you are a competitor of some sort, say beginner level but amateur, professional, etc., you are going to need to become a lifestyle athlete. So everything you drink, everything you eat, your sleep, your rest, your gym workouts, your cross training, you're dancing every single day, you got lessons, you got classes, you're probably teaching. You're doing it all the time, because rather than it being the thing you do every now and then, it does you. It owns you, right? Like you're not just give in, because you are constantly training. Every decision you make is like, is that going to affect my training today? Is that going to affect my performance in 2 weeks, right? So you have a different frame to observe the way you do things through at that point. And that's, again, going to overcomplicate things if you're just doing it for social or hobby reasons, right? Okay, so hope that helps you. I would encourage you to rock right into that, and then go from there. So, how can followers make themselves more approachable? How can followers more approachable? How could followers make themselves more approachable when out and dancing? Less resting bitch face? I don't know. I think I'm not sure what the actual problem you're trying to solve here is. I don't think it's your problem. I think the issue is actually okay, this comes back to the topic of today, really about dancing like a man. It's up to the gentleman to ask the lady to dance. So you might say follower, I think lady. Okay, so ladies are the followers and the men are the leaders, outside of a gay couple, right? So it's up to the man. Today I had a boy come to studio. He was in year 8 and he's never asked the lady to dance. That's fine, no problem. So the first thing I said, in very introductory part of what we did, like straight away, I said, okay, it's time to dance with a partner. Go up and ask her to dance. Walk up to her, put your hand out and say, would you like to dance? And look her in the eyes. Okay. He was like, I just said, just don't think about it, just go do it. And the girls giggle. And so he went out he in a thespian, came out and he's like, would you like to dance? It was pretty awesome. But the point is that he had never had that instruction, and sort of, why would he? But in the dance world, that's etiquette, yeah? So a lot of men are not confident to do this. So there's being approachable, okay, but you can't have a sign on your forehead, and you can't be an over-assertive, let's say a woman, you can't be an over-assertive woman and just running around to everyone. But I do encourage women to ask men to dance too, if the men are being weak-ass bitches, right? If they're just sitting around like, oh, I'll just wait. No, like, men take the lead, step up, and ask people to dance. Sometimes they don't. So then the lady should go and ask a little bit. Yeah, would you like to dance? It's fine. But I'm a bit old school like that. I think it's great if the men can just step up and get into it a little bit more. To be a good follower as well is a skill. It's very difficult. So one of the common problems I do find with ladies that come into the studio, for example, is that they will often, you can see it on their face a little bit, where they start to go, oh, I don't want to like give up my power, so to speak. Like, I don't like being led, is what they're saying. So that's okay. He doesn't know how to lead yet. So you're not really giving anything up. But following is a skill. And this is something people don't get. They think that following means they're submitting in a way that they give up all their power, and they don't. They're not giving up their power at all. In fact, what they're doing is inviting someone to lead, and then the lady has to take over. So in the context of dancing, when a lead happens, a lady is invited to actually do a movement. This is how it works. So the man instigates the movement. The lady decides, do I take this lead? Is it good enough? Do I respond properly? And let go and dance the following movement. And then the lady has to take over when she does. She actually moves her body appropriately. The man never forces the movement or makes the movement for the lady. The lady actually has to do that. And this is where it's following becomes passive. A lot of women become very passive because they think, oh, I'll just become a heavy sack of potatoes and the man will make me dance. That actually is not following, right? So the lady herself has to have an innate skill, balance, movement, technique, rhythm inside of her that through the connection of a partnership, the man opens up and the two create their own movements together that is unique. There is a connection that is unique, right? And so that's how leading and follow actually works. So when a man comes up to ask you to dance, you dance, let him lead appropriately in your role, his role, right? And then together you try and figure that shit out because it's difficult. Yeah, it is an art to lead and follow, and it is as difficult for the man to lead as it is for the lady to follow, and vice versa. It's a tricky thing. And in that beginning story about ladies that come into the studio, when they start trusting their partner and they start allowing the partner to make mistakes, and it's okay, that's when you start to see things unravel, develop, right? The fruits of their labor start to come out over time, which is a really positive thing. But ladies, you're not actually giving up and negatively submitting by allowing someone to lead you, right? Man, woman, whatever. Okay, so I hope that helps you. Let me know if you've got any other questions, anyone out there. I appreciate your time today. This has been a lot of fun. So in recap, we've got looking good, feel good, smell good. 3 basic things, but are you doing them? Okay, because just like in dancing, not all basics are actually done, are they? People focus on their routines. So master your basics. And today has been more about your own inner person than the outer. Okay, so thank you all for being here. I'm going to put a bit of music on for the outro. And hell yeah, I look forward to seeing you in the next episode.